What is up, my bodyweight warriors, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going over exactly how flexible do you need to be. I think we all have this image in our head that'd be nice to, just be able to do side splits, front splits, pancake. It'd be great just to have that range of motion available. However, for some of us, it's a little bit harder to attain than others. So I kind of wanted to answer in today's video, how much flexibility do you actually need? And of course, because information is what we do on this channel, I'm going to give you a bunch of different ways in which you can make that happen. I think there is a certain level of flexibility that everyone kind of needs to have under their belt so they can just move through day-to-day life pretty comfortably. And if they were to jump in the gym, if they were going to go do any sort of physical activity, they would have the range of motion to allow them to do that. So I've got 3 moves for you, which I think everyone should be able to do. Right, move number 1 is the squat, the resting squat. I think everyone should be able to squat, and this one probably is going to be harder, definitely for some than others, but probably something that catches people out. The resting squat is an essential human position. This is how we would traditionally take a poop, excrete from our body. Obviously, with Western culture, we have toilets and other things. We don't need to do that anymore, but everyone should be able to squat in one form or the other. It's a good test of your general lower body flexibility. You need a decent amount of ankle dorsiflexion. That's the ability to push that knee over the toe. You need to have some decent hip flexibility, internal, external rotation, just to be able to get down into that squat, as well as hamstring, glutes, and a little bit of lower back flexibility. It kind of just ticks all the boxes. If you can sit in a resting squat, you're probably off to a good start. If you want to develop your squat and you haven't got the flexibility already, I will link down below a full tutorial series that I did on how to fix your squat, breaking it down step by step, as well as a follow along routine on how to develop your squat flexibility. Range of motion number 2 that I think everyone should have, they should be able to get palms-ish to floor. And this is in referring to hamstring flexibility. A lot of people go on about trying to touch their toes. Touching your toes is nice. I think being able to get your palms to the floor, this would be a good all-round level of flexibility, probably far above 95% of the population. You're going to be, well up there if you can do this. This is kind of another additional step that we would add on to that squat position that we had initially. That's going to test our general lower body flexibility and just to make sure our hamstring flexibility is there, because it is important for a whole host of functions like bending over, hip hinging, getting stuff off the ground, touching your toes at a bare minimum. And if you do want to do this, what you can do, number 1, I have a beginner hamstring flexibility routine. It has a banging routine that is basically for any level. I would highly recommend jumping into that one, or I do have a 15-minute hamstring follow along routine. All right, the third and final basic position I think everyone should be able to do is to be able to do a wall sort of snow angel. This is essentially where we go up to the wall, press the back against the wall, make sure that lower back doesn't come off. We go up into a 90-degree position, and then from there, just push our arms overhead. And ideally, we want to be able to keep that contact with our hands on the wall, going all the way up into that overhead position. Now, this is a nice test of both external rotation and overhead flexibility. It's going to give us a broad overview of whether or not our shoulders have a decent range of motion in general. It's not the be-all, the end-all, the ultimate test. It's similar to the squat. It's going to give you a good indication that general shoulder flexibility is there or thereabouts good. If you want to develop this, I have 2 routines for you. I've got a tutorial one again, a breakdown on overhead flexibility routine, and I have a follow-along shoulder flexibility routine, both of which would help you with this one. Again, linked in the description down below. There's gonna be a whole host of links in there. Right, so that kind of covers the basic level. I think if you can squat, if you can touch your toes, palms to floor, if you can do a wall angel, you're gonna have decent flexibility for most things you come across. If you're in the gym, if you're training, whatever you're doing outside in life, you're probably going to be able to do it with that sort of range of motion. You're not going to feel limited. This is probably a lot less than a lot of people maybe have in mind or have perceived. I know, as I said, people like to show off on Instagram, myself included probably. You want to be able to do the splits and do all these fancy things, but in reality, if you can do those 3 movements, you're probably doing pretty well, definitely above the average person, I would have thought. Actually, on this point, if we're going to call this a test, if you can do all those 3 movements, you get a nice tick in each of those boxes. How many out of those moves can you do? Where are you lacking? Let me know in the comments section down below. Right, so let's assume that you passed the basic flexibility test. You're basic, you've got some flexibility, you're going well, this is a good move. Pretty much all my clients, if they haven't already, they will do these movements or they'll get these movements. And then from here, we'll build on out and develop whatever we want to develop. And that's the key here. There is no, after this point, I would say there's no real you need to be able to do these moves. It depends on what you want to do. So for example, if you do handstands, I obviously love handstands. It's my thing. It's what I do. There's 2 things that you would find very, very useful for handstands. Number 1 is straddle middle splits. Having a decent middle split that'll make your handstand a lot prettier when it gets to some more advanced stuff and just be useful for shapes. And number 2 is the pancake. The pancake itself will help with the press to handstand, which is often something that people are after. So if that's what you're doing, you may want to go down that avenue. Again, there'll be links in the description down below of routines that I've covered all of this on. Also for handstands, obviously, shoulders are pretty important. So again, overhead flexibility, you want to make sure that one is looking fine as well. Let's say you just want to join the Instagram crew and start posting pictures of yourself doing splits in all sorts of weird places, or just want to get super flexible in general, then maybe we want to start working on the front split. Now to do this, I have a front split routine. I've got 2 routines on this channel, so I'll link them down below. It's also worth working on a little bit more of the hip flexor flexibility, which wasn't necessarily covered by the 3 initial tests. But that is basically it in my opinion. That is kind of what you need in terms of just getting through life, the bare minimum when it comes to flexibility. And as I've said throughout this video, all the relevant links will be in the description down below. Basically trying to put all of the stuff that I have on this channel already, all the useful tutorials, routines and whatever in one logical place for people to find. Speaking of which, if you do know a friend who isn't flexible or wants to get flexible, why not share this video with them? I would really appreciate you spreading the love, spreading the information this channel hopefully offers to people who just want to help each other out. If you did find this helpful, then also you can hit that thumbs up button and you can support the channel. I would really appreciate it. Also, while you're down there, right next to it is the subscribe button if you want to join the Bodyweight Warrior tribe, not miss out on any more future flexibility, strength, handstand videos, all of that good stuff. But that has basically been it for this week, guys. I'll catch you in the next episode. Have a strong week and peace.